Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 6th, and we have a good one for you. College football playoff rankings came out for their first official rankings last night. The top four that are in right now are causing a lot of discussion. Clemson fans are saying, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. They are not in the top four, though. We'll talk about that. The NFL Power Rankings have come out from ESPN as well. We'll chit-chat about that as well. Nate Boyer is here via FaceTime in the second hour. He, Green Beret, went to Texas, never long snapped before, made it in the NFL. He is linked to Colin Kaepernick for the kneeling during the national anthem thing, but he's a badass American. Can't wait to chat with him. Today's a good one. We're in Tampa Bay, Florida. Down here in the Florida state, where if you search Florida man at any given time in your life, you'll find something magical. We're hoping not to be any of those today. We're just hoping to bring some heat on this beautiful Wednesday, November 6th. Evan Foxy, play some Chase Rice.
It's the perfect occasion for a middle vacation from the heart of the nation. Not a young medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show.
Yes, it is Chase Rice. I appreciate you joining me in the back of this box truck at Nick Maraudo. Nick, how's it going, pal?
Great, buddy. This Florida weather is magical.
It is. After what we've been through, it's been a little bit chilly. Even down in Texas, it was cold as hell last week. You step right into the swamp down here, though, right into the humidity. Tampa Bay does feel mighty fine. There's a pool at our hotel. Maybe go catch some rays, huh, boys? At Viva Lazito, maybe a cannonball or two, kid?
I'm all in on a cannonball.
Attaboy. It's not really a cannonball with you, though.
Whoa.
It's like a mix between a pencil and a cannonball.
Oh, thanks. That means a
Because
lot.
you're not flexible enough to get the knees up. You know what I mean? Maybe you'll get there.
I've been working on it.
At Evan Foxy, the wildebeest. How you doing, bub?
Fantastic, Pat. Basketball in college is back, and it stinks.
How'd it go last night?
Michigan State lost, but, dude, like, the Kansas game, they had 18 turnovers in the first half. Those guys just aren't as good as NBA guys, clearly.
Well,
I know. But, Pat, the product is terrible.
It is bad.
College basketball has been rough for me to watch for a long time. March Madness, though, incredible. I'll check it out. I mean, everybody will watch March Madness, mostly to gamble upon it. That was when I learned that I shouldn't gamble on things I know nothing about because I got slaughtered in March Madness. Now, college basketball is back already. Michigan State was ranked number 1, weren't they?
Yes, sir.
Foxy! Just a big L to start the whole thing off.
Yeah, big L to Kentucky, but they have one of their best players out until, like, January, so it's kind of one of those weird things.
Is he a freshman?
No.
Oh, okay, he's an older guy. I was about to say, how do you know he's your best player? You have no idea. Mostly basketball, these just kids come out of nowhere, dominate, and then they're gone. Student athletes, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
They're there for a semester and a half. Student human athletes playing basketball, doing the whole thing. I enjoy college basketball when it gets March Madness, but I do believe they start a little bit early. It's like the NHL. Like, why is the NHL happening right now? There's no reason for the NHL to happen right now.
I wouldn't mind a condensed schedule. 60 games, start a little bit later in the year.
But if you're a sports fan, there's a lot going on right now. You got the NFL, you got the NHL, you got college basketball, you got college football.
NBA.
NBA is playing basketball right now. I mean, there's a lot going on. So no night left behind in the sports world, which is good news, just in case there's nothing on television. But college basketball is at the bottom of those 5 for me in my eyes. At Ty Schmidt, how are you feeling today?
Pretty good. You mentioned it earlier. You know, when we actually travel like this is the first time it's gone without any hitches. I'm feeling pretty good today. Didn't have any facial issues, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we flew here this morning. We had a 6:30 bird to get us down to beautiful Tampa. 2-hour flight. Very smooth. We all passed out, I believe. Woke up, landed, and we drove about 10 seconds and we landed at our studio. I mean, it was just an absolutely perfect situation. Speaking of perfect situations, I do believe that these college football playoff rankings are only put out for people like us, for people that have shows, so that they can generate conversation about college football. Because right now, who knows what's going to happen the rest of the year? Who knows what team's going to show up and what team isn't going to show up? But right now, to generate conversation and to generate buzz, the College Football Playoff Committee put out their first official first 4 in. They are as follows. In 4th place, hailing from State College, Pennsylvania, Penn State, who take on the Minnesota Row the Boat Gophers this weekend. PJ Fleck just signed a 7-year extension, probably worth millions and millions of dollars, and I couldn't even fathom what the buyout is. They just signed him because the FSU job just opened up. The SC job's supposed to open up. Potentially Notre Dame job's going to open up. If you're a guy who's had success everywhere you go, you lead the Gophers to an undefeated start. That AD knows that these schools that have big old pockets are probably going to try to come get old Sky U Ma, PJ Fleck. Neckton mentality. Always hungry, never full. Wanting more. Motivational speaker, PJ Fleck. By the way, comes on our show, gets a 7-year contract extension.
Just goes to show you.
I mean, that thing's probably worth $30 million.
At least.
Give or take.
That thing's probably worth $50 million.
I was going to say, I would guess he's probably making what? To stay there, like at least $4 to $5 million a year? Probably $5 million a year?
7 times 5, quick math, 35.
Yes.
Probably $40 million. The buyout's probably $20 million like old Willie Taggart had down there at FSU. These college coaches are in a good spot. If you're a good coach, you're in a good spot because this college football landscape never is settled unless you are a big dog. Speaking of big dogs, number 3, Alabama. Nick Saban's Alabama squad is at number 3 right now. Is that potentially because we don't know what's up with Tua's ankle? Do we not know how Tua will hold up for the rest of the year? Why is Alabama at number 3? Nobody knows. Number 2, down there in the bayou. Coach O and the boys. Brand new offense. Been able to slice and dice teams. No more are we the team that's just going to pound you to death on offense and then suffocate you on defense. The LSU Tigers are now a team that takes it to other teams with Joe Burrow lighting it up. Potential Heisman winner, number 2 team LSU. And the number 1 rated team by the College Football Playoff Committee, who I got to hear a few of them speak at the college football orientation program that ESPN put on. Couple older whites talking. Older whites. Ohio State. The Ohio State. Number 1 team in the land, which is interesting because Urban Meyer's name is such a hot commodity in this coaching world. He leaves and their team gets better somehow. And the reason why, I believe, is because Chase Young on the defensive side, a lot of people are arguing he's the best player in all of college football. And then you talk to people who are in the know, who know things about stuff, especially this type of stuff. Guy from the Elite 11 camp and has been around, knows all the quarterbacks. He says Justin Fields is the best quarterback in the country, and it's not even close. I'm like, wait a minute. More than that Air Bear kid over in Oregon is supposed to get drafted first. Better than him. I'm like, what about Joe Burrow? Better than him. Justin Fields, I guess, is the truth. So when you have the best player on offense on one team and the best player on defense on the same team, that makes sense that they're number 1, that they're up there in there. But if you're Clemson and you're the Tiger fans, you're like, hey, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on? Is Dabo Swinney still our coach? Yeah. Is Trevor Lawrence in that Maine still taking snaps for us? Yeah. Did he start out a little rocky? Yeah. Yeah, he won a national championship as a freshman, took over the world. Of course he's going to have a little bit of an off-season of fun, away from his parents for the first time, away from quarterback camps for the first time, away from quarterback counselors for the first time. No matter how humble you are, when you're on top of the world as an 18-year-old, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult not to look around and smell a little bit.
It is. It's true.
So he stumbled out the gate a little bit. And by stumble, they still won. I think he still threw like 18 touchdowns or something like that, or 100 touchdowns in the first week. He just threw a couple picks. They didn't look great. They struggled against UNC. So now Clemson falls out of the top 4. And if you're a Tiger fan, you're like, what the hell is going on here? But everybody knows that at the end of the season, Clemson's going to continue to roll, and they'll be in it at the end. It's almost like the College Football Playoff Committee did this strictly so I would say that Clemson deserves to be in there so that everybody would talk up Clemson, who's the reigning national champion. It's kind of a smart move, which leads me to the next point. Is this list all BS?
Without a doubt.
Is this just complete BS and mean absolutely nothing? Are you telling me that I'm talking about something that means nothing? Sure feels like it. Because who cares? What if Ohio State goes out there and loses the next 4 games?
Well, I saw at least 8 teams, I think, still control their own destiny, and if they win out, they could get in. So
yeah. LSU and Alabama play each other, this weekend, and then Penn State and Ohio State are going to play in, 2 or 3 weeks? So it's going to be completely different.
So right now, what we are reading is a list of who the best teams in the country are from a group of people we don't know who they are. So an anonymous group of humans who are in a very powerful position released a list of their best teams in the country, and this is them. So I guess we got to talk about it because those said people are the ones that pick the 4 playoffs at the end. So now at least we get a chance to see inside their brain to see which way they're leaning, who they're looking at. Obviously, they like the Big Ten a lot and they like the SEC, which everybody's going to know. And since I've gotten a chance to call those Thursday night games, I've gotten a chance to kind of bebop around the country and chat with coaches, and the conversation always turns towards the playoffs. Always. And when I sat down with David Shaw, Stanford, and it wasn't just me, it was the whole crew, we asked him about it, and Stanford used to be a very prominent program. Heisman winners, a lot of NFL players, but they're in the Pac-12, which is kind of a victim of the East Coast bias over there. And we asked him about the playoffs and what they should do. And he said, he thinks there's a pretty easy answer, and I agree with him. The the NCAA football playoffs should be 8 teams. Everybody knows this. Should be the champions from the Power 5 conferences. So let's make the championships in the actual conference play mean something. Even if a team loses early, they still have a chance to win their championship of their league. They should get in. Let's take the 5 champions from the Power 5 leagues. Just makes too much sense. And then the last 3 spots, those are at large bids. So if another UCF comes through and just wins like 75 games in a row, but they never get a chance to play against anybody because they didn't know that they were going to be that good whenever they were scheduling games for the next 4 years, give them an at-large bid. If Georgia, who struggled against South Carolina early in the season, can continue to get hot, put them in there. If Minnesota goes on and dominates all year and loses in the Big Ten championship against a team that's already in the playoff, why not give it to them? What about the Baylor Bears, who are currently undefeated? They'd be in there because of the Big 12 championship, but what if Oklahoma wins and they're in there? Then let that committee debate on who the 3 at large are. Let the conferences decide who the 5 are, and then whammy, everybody's happy. We got more games, we got more money, we got more opportunity for schools that think that they should have opportunities, like the Pac-12 schools, which they should, by the way. It simplifies everything, and everything makes sense. College football's big thing is every game matters. And I guess that's accurate, but I think a much more accurate statement would be every game matters until you lose your first one. Until you lose your first one. And then once you lose your first one, see you later. You're probably not going to be in the college football playoff conversation if you're not in the SEC or not in the Big Ten. If you're in any other conference other than those, once you lose one game, sayonara. Your team might as well not even exist. That hurts attendance. That hurts everything. That hurts ratings. Whenever people are like, this game doesn't really matter. And back in the day, by the way, Fiesta Bowl, I got a chance to win one of those with the team I was on. Awesome. Sugar Bowl, I got the chance to win one of those back in the day. Awesome. All these bowl games that used to be so revered, they mean nothing anymore. Nothing.
People don't even play in them.
Nothing matters anymore other than the college football playoff. So to act as if every game matters. Now, granted, they're still getting a stipend. The kids are still getting an extra 2 weeks of practice to get better for the next season. Yes, they get another chance to play football and represent their school. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Like Fiesta Bowl championship, whenever we won that, a BCS was a big deal.
Huge deal.
BCS was a huge deal. Now, granted, the BCS only happened because the NCAA sold its rights to declare a champion to the BCS. Right, so we had a BCS champion, and you have the BCS
Such a
Bulls.
wild maneuver.
They did that. So you'd go to the NCAA Hall of Fame, and they would have the D1 AA champion as their champion because they sold their rights to declare a champion. So that is just a hilarious thing. But everybody wanted a playoff. I was on a team, by the way, that won the playoff bad. Our West Virginia team in the Big East Conference was not given a lot of love. We won a lot of games. We were dominant a lot. And if we had this 8-school thing, I think we would have gotten that large bid. I think we would have been able to sneak in and made something play. But there's a lot of teams that are still suffering from that right now. Yes, the 4-game was better than what it used to be. And I think that's kind of their thing. Well, do you want to go back to the BCS? No. Everybody hated the BCS. I mean, I love the mountain bike I got for playing in the Sugar Bowl. I love getting a chance to go to Atlanta and Scottsdale and Charlotte in Jacksonville with the team to play in a bowl game and to win them. I love those opportunities, but in the grand scheme of things, if we're going to talk for real, none of those games matter other than the playoff game. And if you lose one game, you're out of the big-time conversation. David Shaw referenced a USC team from a couple years ago. They lost early to Alabama. I guess they just got trampled. Then they bring in Sam Darnold to play quarterback, and they didn't lose again. But since they lost Alabama early, their name, because they were in the Pac-12, was basically thrown out. But if they would have got in, that team would have beat anybody. And that's just the way it goes if you're not in the SEC or the Big Ten. If you lose a game, you're out of conversation. Every game matters until you lose one. And I think there's a lot of those stories around college football. I think there's a lot of people that probably agree with me. I think the only people that don't agree with me are probably Alabama, LSU,
Right.
big name schools,
The old guard. So
the
to
old
speak.
guards, which, by the way, congrats to them. The ability to stay on top for that long is not easy. It's just like the Patriots. It's very hard to do that. But I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of on the outside. They're like, hey, we want to take a swing at these dudes. We want to take a swing at Saban. Now, granted, anytime you swing at something that big, there's a chance you might eat a couple right in the face. There's a chance for a couple buzzsaw blowouts in these playoff games. But that happens in the NFL playoffs. That happens in every form of playoffs. In high school, you play playoffs. In Little League, you play playoffs. In the NFL, you play playoffs. But in college, it's just 4-team playoff. It's like, come on. They say, well, they don't want them to go an extra week or whatever. We'll start the season a week earlier. Easy. Easy peasy. And let's just move forward and make college football what it truly is. Not only the best environment, but the best football product that could possibly be. Sounds good to me. Pretty happy we just fixed that. It was the least we could do. I mean, college football, I'm now a voice of it. Thursday Night Football, by the way. That's why we're in Tampa. Who's this?
This is The Rednecks on Broadway by Dave James.
I think the Rednecks on Broadway would agree with me, though, with college football.
Without a doubt.
I think everybody would. All right. If you have anything to say to me, tweet me. We can't take calls because we're in the back of a box truck. Tweet me. Tell me your thoughts. I will hope. Maybe I'm either right or I learn. If you're right, I'm open-minded. I don't stick by things unless I'm right. Unless I'm right. If I'm right, I will stick with it. I view that in everything, by the way. If I feel a certain way and I'm right, we're going with it. I don't care what anybody else has to say. But if you have something that's better than me, I'll go, fair play. Let's do that and keep it moving. So if you tweet me something that's better than the 8-game playoff, I think Harbaugh drew up some 11-game playoff or something in an Excel spreadsheet, which I enjoy a lot. I like the thought that it generates so much buzz. Because imagine if Clemson didn't get in, being undefeated, being the national champion last year.
Right.
Be like, what the hell are we doing?
Well, and then that also changes the entire dynamic of the season. Why schedule a good team at the start? Why not play like a 1AA school and just beat the hell out of them? There's no reason to go play Alabama other than you're making money.
Well, then it's hard for teams that are smaller to schedule good games.
Right.
So like our West Virginia team, there were teams that didn't want to play us, so we couldn't get them because of what could potentially happen early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like a very difficult thing to do. Athletic director's got to get to work. And you have to get to work on yourself to make you a better man. Newsflash, now you can manscape without the fear thanks to Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. You will feel fearless and fresh with Manscaped line of products. Starting with the Lawnmower 2.0 with the proprietary skin-safe technology, this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Plus the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. I mean, why wouldn't you put deodorant on the smelliest part of your body, Zito?
I don't know why.
It's time to man up and stop using the same trimmer on your face as you use on your balls. That is disgusting. Thanks to Manscaped, manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. Feel fearless, feel fresh, and feel fine when you use the right tools for the job this time. Your balls will thank you, and so will your wallet. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AMERICA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code AMERICA. By the way, that technology, that skin-safe technology,
Legit.
You can go willy-nilly with that thing on your willy-nilly, and there's no option of it nicking or snagging your nuts. Good design down there. 20% off free shipping, manscaped.com. Use code America. We'll be back on the other side. NFL rankings next. Can't wait to hear what I got to say about the pros. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I am he. We are in beautiful Tampa, Florida. I believe we're near water. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw some when we were flying in.
I believe we're near water. Maybe go take a little trip to the beach ski if we find a minute and a half of downtime here.
Come on, guys. Gulf of Mexico. Thought you were big geography guys.
How
Yeah.
close is it?
Pretty close.
How
It's a bay.
close?
It's literally less than a mile over there. You can see it.
Yeah, that's what I said when we were flying in.
That's what we said. We said we think there's water here.
Yeah. The Gulf of Mexico. Have some respect.
I think it's the opposite side.
You think it's the Atlantic Ocean?
Just stop.
Is
Zero,
there salt in that one?
Yeah.
zero, zero, zero. Just, we can't have it again. We can't have you and water being this constant battle of ignorance.
You got it.
Constant battle of ignorance. That's Zito's life.
I'll let it sink.
So we fixed the college football playoff there in the first 17 minutes of the show.
Well
yeah,
done.
well done.
Hey, good for us.
Hey.
Good for us.
All right.
We're not the first ones to say it, but boy, we'll say it louder than everybody else. It's kind of the way this whole business works, from what I've been told. The Los Angeles Chargers owner, Spanos, came out because there was a little wrinkle of a rumor that came out that if a team was to move to London town, everybody thought it would be the Jaguars because Khan owns England, parts of England. He has a soccer team over there. They play over there all the time. Yesterday, a little rumor came out that no, it wouldn't be them. It'd be the team that can't fill up their own stadium. It'd be the team that came to a city where another team had already staked claim. It'd be a team that was once terrible at football this season, but it's kind of getting hot, but nobody really enjoys. It would be the Los Angeles Chargers. I was very confused by that. I'm like, well, damn, that's like a 45-hour trip from Los Angeles. You're just going to pick up everybody and move over there. That'd be quite a move. I argued yesterday that it's going to be very difficult to have a team over there full-time, just logistically, for the player's life, the coach's life, the travel, the cutting of players, the signing of players, the people showing up 5 hours before games and playing on special teams. It'd be very difficult to do that. 8 home games, 8 away games. It's basically 16 away games. It's going to be tough to get that sell. I do believe they'll continue to have games over there, as they should. Let the neutral site games of the 17-game season that's going to come, let more of them go over there if you want. But I think having a team over there would be difficult. So when I heard it was going to be the Chargers, I was mind blown. And I guess Spanos, the owner of the Chargers, was also mind blown because he came out with a F-bomb laced rant saying, we ain't going fornicating anywhere. L.A. is our fornicating home for a long fornicating time. I love that. By the way, I love that. Little self-awareness. L.A. is not their home yet. They might be renting space in L.A. They don't even have a stadium yet. It is not their official home just yet. Yes, I guess it says Los Angeles before their name, but that has been the Rams' home for the past couple years. Now, if they can get hot like they did last season and win some games, I think the people in Los Angeles would love to get behind them. Lightning bolts are fun, a lot of people will say. I think they could get a fan base, but right now Los Angeles is not the place for them. But with the new stadium, maybe Tom Brady coming into town. Maybe the Chargers have a real chance, but I'm just not seeing it. But I'm happy to hear that they're not going to London. And I'm happy to hear the NFL, because Rich Eisen interviewed Shad Khan on his show, The Grind, I believe, on Epics, which is this new show that Rich Eisen's hosting where it's like an inside look weekly into teams and players and storylines. It's kind of like a, I don't know what it's compared to.
It's like inside the NFL almost, but it's not a studio show.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like on location.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted me to be one of the people, by the way, which is very, very nice of them, but I couldn't do it because of my schedule already. Basically, they would have me go to like a city on like a Thursday. Like, let's say I was doing something on Justin Tucker. I would go to Baltimore on like a Thursday. I'd get dinner with him on Thursday night.
Oh, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, go to work with him on Friday morning, sit down, interview, kind of see how he does his thing. And then game day, I'm on the sideline watching and chatting with him. It's a really incredible concept, and I believe it's on Epics.
Yeah.
EPIX, Epics. He said he talked to Shad Khan for that show. He's the overall host of it, kind of like Lester Holt is of Dateline, like kind of the overseer that kind of pitches the things, much like the guy Gumbel from
Real Sports.
Real Sports. So he's kind of the overseer of the whole thing. He's the voice of the NFL. Makes sense. He said yesterday on Rich Eisen's show that he talked to Shad Khan about the Jaguars going to London. And Shad said, no, that's not happening. And then he talked about a team going over there, and I guess Shad Khan said, no, that's not happening. They have 4 games over there right now. They might extend it, I guess, to 6 or 8. I mean, that show comes out tonight, so I guess we'll have to get the entire quote. But Rich Eisen was very much saying yesterday that like, a team is not going to London. Like, that needs to just that rumor just needs to get squashed, basically. I don't know who's going to squash it. I've been saying for a long time it's not going to be possible for a lot of reasons, logistically, most of them being. But I don't think it's a smart business move either. You got fans of every team over there. It's like a melting pot of fans over there. Why would you want them to just become a fan of one team or try to force them to be? It just doesn't make any sense. Let all of Europe enjoy football and then give them shows, like 8 of them, 6 of them each a year, where people can come out and have a good time and sell out Wembley. I mean, that's just a beautiful thing to do. It's a nice little celebration.
See, when I see Spanos' comments for that, I immediately think, oh, he's caught. Because he's getting backed into a corner and just say, "Oh, fornicate you and you too." Just starts going crazy. Like maybe they are going over there. Who knows? I mean, he sold out San Diego once. I don't think he has any ties to not wanting to sell out L.A. It's possible.
Really?
I mean, it was just so over the top, and I do appreciate it, but I also feel like, well, maybe he's overcompensating for something.
Really?
Who knows?
See, that's a mind blower to me because I thought it was like him, like people trying to get him out of LA. So I thought this was maybe the rest of the NFL, like trying to be like, hey, let's get this rumor going that he'll go to London. Let's get him out of LA. This has been a colossal failure. Maybe it's the Kroenke family or whatever it is from the Rams. They're like, all right, let's get him the hell out of here. Where do we want to send him? To another continent. Let's do that. Let's kind of leak it. And that's why he came out swinging like, oh, these people are trying to get me. These people are trying to get me. I don't know.
Because the Chargers, tweeted yesterday the Wolf of Wall Street clip that I'm not effing leaving, and then everyone underneath that was just like, well, yeah, he didn't have any problem leaving a couple years ago, though.
Oh.
Also, probably didn't see the end of that movie. Doesn't work out well.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
Should have left.
Yeah.
I think if the Wolf of Wall Street could go back and do one thing, it's right before he starts hitting himself in the head with the microphone.
Yep.
He just drops the mic.
Yeah, it's
and
not
says,
too late.
I'll see you guys later, man. I'm going to save myself 20 years of jail time where I'm just going to go sit in a hole. By the way, that guy lived, man.
Yeah, he did. Who knows how much of it was true, but yeah.
By the way, did we ever hear him sell a pen? He wanted his friends to sell a pencil and a pen. I've never heard him sell it. I wonder and argue if he could. I don't know. Be interested to find out. We should have him on this show. I would like to do a podcast with him.
Oh, yeah.
We tried to, remember? We had to go through 10 different people to try to get in touch with him.
Yeah, it was impossible.
It was.
Him and Abagnale. Frank Abagnale.
Still alive?
Oh, great question. It's Abagnale, not Abagnale. Catch me if you can. Those con artists really get me going.
You could be a good, con artist stemming from confidence. I think you could be a great con artist.
No, I don't think I could, by the way, because I have that emotion where I feel bad.
Empathy?
Yeah, there it is. I have that. But the people that don't, I'm so intrigued by. Just being able to just scam people right to their face and just be like, yep, I feel completely okay with it. I'm going to sleep very good tonight. That is interesting to me because I would be up.
Sociopath stuff.
Yeah, those folks.
Wait, con artist is confident artist? You just said it was a root for confidence?
Yeah.
That's not right.
All right, Z. What is it
else?
then?
Anyone else in here?
I've never heard it. I mean,
didn't know that.
Now
Yeah.
he said it with a lot of confidence.
That's
It is.
con artist right now.
Yeah, confidence
Con
man.
man is confidence man.
Wow. Amazed.
Hey, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
I
I'm
didn't know
going to
either.
actually update my random fact of the day.
What was the last one?
Slug has 4 noses.
Only has 4 noses.
I actually changed it.
Attaboy. Zeke can adapt if he has to.
Slughead.
Ah,
How do we get to this? Oh, yeah. I want to talk about the ratings.
That's on me.
The NFL rate. No, it's not on you. The NFL ratings, each week, whenever they come out, I guess the internet enjoys listening to me break these down.
they do.
These things do well on the internet. So I'm going to give it a go right now. And I don't care what you think at home. These are my opinions. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The number one, should I go 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
10 to 1.
10 to 1.
All right, in 10th place. The home team for Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Rams, who started out like dog grumpy, have all of a sudden started to play good football. Think they had a bye week last week? Nobody knows if they got better or worse, but let's assume that McVay, the young whiz kid's going to figure something out. Last year, they were in the Super Bowl. The beginning of this year, everybody was like, what has happened over there? They trade Aqib Talib out. Aqib Talib, hilarious interview on Colin Cowherd yesterday, by the way. I'm excited for Aqib Talib to do more media if he doesn't go and play for the Dolphins, which he said, by the way, if they're trading for me and they want me to play, I'll play for him. Aqib Talib was very cool. But the Los Angeles Rams bring in Jalen Ramsey, a guy who can go on an island if you need him. Maybe maybe reboots that entire team in the confidence level, in the con level of the Los Angeles Rams.
Well said.
Number 9, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, got a pulled hammy. Will he come back? We don't know. Maybe rest it so he doesn't get in a game and then out of a game where you have him in a game plan, then he can't use him. That seemed to be a problem for them last week. Although Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings offense seemed to be good all the way up until this past week, was it just a little stumble and a fall? We'll find out going forward. Number 9th ranked team. Number 8, a man who thought he lost his eyeball, then threw a touchdown 2 weeks ago, took a trip to England and took a Jaguars team straight to hell. A balled-out Deshaun Watson quarterback, and the Houston Texans are now the number 8th ranked team in the NFL, according to ESPN. Green Bay Packers at number 7. A little piece of humble pie this weekend. Aaron Rodgers came on our show yesterday, said he loved the way the team bounced back after the loss. An NFL season is too quick. You can't mope over losses, or one loss becomes 2, 2 becomes 3. Aaron Rodgers said some things after the game like, hey, our preparation wasn't the greatest. We needed to do this. We needed this game. Keep it moving. Here we are now on Wednesday. Talked to him on Tuesday. He said he likes the way the team's responded. I feel like the Green Bay Packers are going to get right back on the right foot, and I think Devontae Adams is going to become a weapon for them as he transitions back into that offense nicely. The defense, very, very good still. They even proved that this past week. Go ahead, Ty.
They need to know how to stop the run. That's the down the stretch here. They're going to be challenged, and they got to be able to stop the run.
And Ty Schmidt is an owner of the Packers. To win late in December and in the playoffs, there's 2 key rules that basically everybody lives by. You got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to stop the run. If the Packers can't stop the run, will that be doom for them later on in the season? Or will Aaron Rodgers be able to keep up with any team no matter what? He's going to have to, it sounds like. Number 6, the Seattle Seahawks, who just added Josh Gordon. Unbelievable football being played right now by Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, and the entire Seahawks gang. They don't play great defense, so it's always a shootout. Look for backdoor covers against the Seattle Seahawks for the rest of the year. But now they got Josh Gordon, who I assume is only going to open things up even more for Russell Wilson. Look for Russell Wilson to win the MVP if it's not Aaron Rodgers. Number 5, Kansas City Chiefs. I have no clue why this is happening. I guess it's all because of potential and what they could potentially be, how they could potentially play. Yes, they are loaded from top to bottom. Their defense is playing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season. They're getting Patrick Mahomes back. They have all their weapons, and Andy Reid is still their head coach, but they've lost games with Patrick Mahomes playing. I don't know why they're still ranked this high, but I will tell you this. Anytime they're on television, I'm going to tune in. I'm going to watch. I do hope that they make an extended stay in the playoffs strictly for that reason and that reason alone. Number 4, the Baltimore Ravens. This Lamar Jackson-led team that has the ability to do things that no other team can do. They have 3 tight end sets with Hollywood Brown in there. They go with a pistol and 2 backs next to them. That offensive line says, hey, you want to talk about every other offensive line that's cool with us? We got Yonda, who everybody says is the best offensive lineman in history, and we got a quarterback that can make people miss. He's a mixture of Le'Veon Bell, Michael Vick, and he can throw the ball a little bit. I like the way Lamar Jackson plays football. I think what he has, you can't coach, which means it's hard to coach against, because whenever you're coaching against an offense, what you're trying to look for is tendencies and what they're supposed to do. Lamar Jackson debunks all of that. He does whatever the hell Lamar Jackson wants to do. They go as he goes. Let's just hope he doesn't go down from a big-time shot at any given point. Looks like he's been able to handle that type of stuff before. Who knows? It's the National Football League. Number 3, the New Orleans Saints. Welcome back, Drew Brees. Gives a motivational speech to the Purdue Boilermakers. Refuses to talk to the punters and kickers. Do I hate him for that? No. Punters and kickers motivate themselves. They don't need any outside forces to come in and make them feel ready for a game. But I like Drew Brees. I like his atmosphere. I like his energy. I like what he does. And anytime you get to play down there in a Superdome, it is awesome. I mean, it is an incredible place. And that Saints team, whenever Teddy Bridgewater was in, learned that they can win without Drew Brees' arm. They learned that Latavius Murray can win a game for you. They learned that the offensive line is good. They learned that the defense can play. That only juices them up going further. Look for the New Orleans Saints to be good and probably end in a terribly heartbreaking manner like the last 2 years. The Minneapolis Miracle, then the Phantom no pass interference call that changed the game of football completely, by the way. Number 2 team, New England Patriots, lose to the Ravens. pretty bad, 37-20. Still ranked number 2, strictly because they're the New England Patriots, and you should show them that type of respect. Let's assume that the AFC runs through the New England Patriots until the New England Patriots say, hey, it doesn't run through us anymore. They have a pretty tough upcoming schedule. The New England Patriots could potentially lose a couple games, but let's always assume that Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels, and the boys are going to be able to figure out when it matters most. Real football for them doesn't start till after Thanksgiving. We still have a couple weeks for that. And the number 1 team in the ESPN rankings, the San Francisco 49ers. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy G, Richard Sherman, George Kittle, Emmanuel Sanders, Hyde. The whole team over there is hot. That team is playing good football, but, and I say this every single time, Arizona Cardinals took them to task 28-25. Came back late. Yeah, it was a lot closer than the entire game. I get it. But that Niners team with an incredible player in Bosa, probably going to be the rookie MVP, conversation of potential MVP talk for him. That team is very, very good. They have not been tested yet. But on Monday Night Football, they play the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be excited to watch this game. I think ESPN's got a good one in San Fran on Monday night. Pumped to see what we got from the Niners. Congrats to them for being the number 1 ranked NFL team right now by ESPN. And good for all the teams for trying their best out there, except for the Cincinnati Bengals, Miami Dolphins, and Redskins and Jets. All right. We got to get to another break. I feel good about that breakdown there.
Do you agree with those rankings, you think? We got the Cowboys, the Colts, and the Bills looking on the outside of the top 10. The Bills are 6-2.
And I liked Zoe yesterday. We talked to Zoe. I like the Bills a lot, but the Bills are in the Patriots division.
Right.
So that's anytime you're ranking somebody, you just look directly at that. It's like, will they have any chance of getting out of the division? History has said no, but maybe they will, though. Zoe looked very confident, sounded very confident yesterday. He likes that team. McDermott's built a good one. The coach, Jacoby, I guess there is a chance he's going to play. Coin flip is what I'm being told.
Whoa.
I'm like, hey, let's rest that thing, get it healthy, see what
Yeah.
Hoyd Daddy can do. But also, Jacoby, all-pro quarterback. If we can have him in the game, let's have him in the game. But if he takes a little shot early in that, we got to waste him for another 2-3 weeks.
It's just not worth it against Miami.
Whoa. Don't say that about Fitzpatrick.
Come on.
Thank you.
I have trust in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I do. I have trust in Frank Reich and Chris Ballard. I think they'll make the right decision. But Jacoby's an all-pro. If he's ready to go, let him go. And if it's Hoyd Daddy, we ride with Hoyd Daddy until Swag Kelly potentially gets called up. Yeah, I like the rankings. It's all BS. Who cares? You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show. Nobody knows why. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. The XFL commentator announcements have come out. And I have added another job. I have added another job. I am not in the booth, which I was not 100% for, because I don't want to be a sideline guy, mostly because I've seen Molly McGrath do it, and it is a lot of work. And you only get a certain number of times on camera, and if you miss it, it's a whole, it's tough to be it's much harder to be a sideline reporter than people could ever imagine just from watching football games, by the way. But instead, I was told that there's this field analyst position in the XFL where I am going to be given unprecedented access during games. You might see me in a huddle. You might see me talking to a coach immediately after he makes a terrible decision, maybe talking to a ref about a call. I guess they're just going to let me roam down there with an open mic and talk to whoever, whenever, about whatever. And I'm assuming that's going to make for pretty good television. I don't know how the game's going to be. I don't know how the actual teams are going to be. But I do know me getting to ask a question like, what the hell were you thinking there is going to make for pretty good television, I think. And I'm excited to do it. I'm not sure I'll be there every single week, but it's been worked in there that first week will be there. Let's see how it goes. And I'm assuming that Oliver Luck in the XFL, after my first week on the sideline, they're going to have some questions to ESPN. Why was McAfee in the huddle in the fourth quarter?
I'm sure you won't have any suggestions to throw in there while you're in that huddle.
Hey, you guys have been really doing well with the flea flickers. Let's do maybe a triple pass. Yeah, guys, I just let them know I think they should do a triple pass. Look for some. It should be interesting, though. I think it's going to be a good time. I've never met the other two people that I'm calling the game with ever in my entire life, so that should be a lot of fun.
Who are the other two?
I don't know.
When does that season start?
Directly after the Super Bowl. So,
oh, nice.
This fall season has been what we like to call quite a run. And don't worry, though, it's not stopping. Not stopping at all. I had a lot of questions about a lot of these things, but the beautiful people at ESPN were like, hey, we'll take care of you. And also, we think this position that has been added to the coverage of the game is one that you're going to thrive in. And I was like, all right, maybe. Let's see how it goes. Field analyst. I'm going to be on the field more than I was when I was punting. It's going to be a good time.
Sounds like a CIA position or something.
That's like Elvis. I watched that thing where he wanted to be a field
agent.
Field agent. Yeah, he wanted to be an undercover agent.
Just don't eat the M&Ms.
That's from the movie. Obviously, only like 45 people saw that movie, so nobody else would really understand that reference. Shout out to Zito, though.
I didn't watch it.
Zito just made a reference to a movie that nobody watched, including himself. I appreciate that. Apparently, the Elvis went and met with the President
Nixon.
President Nixon.
I'm not a crook.
And Nixon basically had this set of rules for Elvis, and Elvis's people had this set of rules for Nixon and how he should talk to Elvis and how Elvis is supposed to talk to Nixon. And Elvis just went in there, kicked his feet up on his table, jacked all of his peanut M&Ms, and just really established alpha status on Nixon immediately. Pretty good little movie, actually. I don't remember the name of it.
Why he was the king. Just did whatever he wanted.
He ended in a pretty poor fashion. Banana and peanut butter right on the toilet. Mm-hmm. In the movie, they show him emptying a clip on his televisions in his theater. I think he had a pretty angry life there towards the end. Other than that, pretty good little career, though. Other than that, 10:51. I'm pumped about that XFL stuff, by the way.
I have a feeling it's going to be tough for you to watch that football and not want to strap the pads on and go sling a couple out there.
Well, that has been an issue thus far. I see Jacoby go down. What do? I immediately put on the bandana, put on the horseshoe T-shirt, start slinging it around the office, blow up a beer can first swing. The arm was feeling good, too. I was taking holes out of the brick there behind the thing. I feel like I could really sling it a little bit. Cardio is going to be an issue, though. I ran to the bathroom here in between breaks, got winded coming back, didn't think we are going to be able to finish the show. So that's going to be a little bit tough. And I assume that the offensive linemen not great in the XFL. So those quarterbacks are going to be getting slammed around.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd kick or punt in a league ever again. But if quarterback becomes available and I can run more than 10 yards without dying, I might want to get involved. But by the way, with this field analyst thing, I think I'm going to be basically playing quarterback. I'm going to be right behind the guy, Hey! I can't wait to hear the guidelines that they have for me, what I'm allowed and what I'm not allowed to do.
If you intercept the ball.
Oh, my, what if I bat one down?
Not a
What if I'm sprinting next to him like Tyreek Hill was to that guy?
just give him a
Oh
little
my
pat.
God, here we go.
Little pat on the ass. Come
Am
on,
I
bud.
wearing cleats out there? Like
You think you have to?
we're designing we'll design like a pair of J's, but we'll put cleats on the bottom. My suit will be full on like adaptable. I'll probably
Flex fit.
Yeah, flex fit. Now, granted, these games are happening in very cold conditions. I mean, this is in February and March here. Some of the teams are based in like New York and other places. It's going to be cold as hell out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That means I'm going to have to move more. So look for me to stay active. I'm going to start doing jumping jacks on a daily basis so I don't die on the air down there. But they're saying I get unprecedented access. I'm ready to go. Should be good.
I mean, I tell you what, the DC Defenders, they might as well not even play the league this year because DC is going to go undefeated. They're going to win the whole damn thing. I've looked at a little tape. That's my team for this year. You're in for a treat. There's going to be some good football there.
Who's the coach there, Pep?
DC Defend. Incidentally, I do not know who the coach is.
Whatever team Connor Cook is on, book it, hammer him. He's the face of the XFL right now.
I think I'm the face of the XFL. I think we might as well just start calling it for what it is. This field analyst position is a brand new position in football. It's in a brand new league. Let's assume I'm going to have a good opening week.
Oh, you and Trent Richardson are going to get a chance to hash it out on the field.
Trent Richardson and I have no problems. I just wish he played football better for the Colts.
Yeah, but now you can tell him when to zig instead of zagging.
I'll be like, hey, Trent, what up, man? Hey, this next time, whatever you're feeling, fade yourself. I'm going to start doing that with gambling, I think. I'm going to be like, hey, go this way. No, let's go the other way. I think I'm going to have to.
Last week.
A lot of real stuff talked about here in this first hour. We fixed college football playoffs. We went through the entire NFL rankings. We talked about P.J. Fleck getting a 7-year extension. What do we miss? Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott came out and said today in the USA Today that the problem with their team is they beat themselves. Turnovers, penalties, things like that. If we can stay out of our own fornicating way, we can be a very good team. Ain't nobody can stop us, he said, if we can stay out of our own fornicating way. I like that quote, by the way. I like that quote a lot from Dak Prescott. I like that attitude from Dak Prescott. And if the Cowboys truly mean it, I'll be excited to see if they can truly do it. Good for the Cowboys. The NFC East is becoming okay, though, with the Eagles playing good football.
They got a tough game this week, though. We'll learn a lot about both the Cowboys and the Vikings after Sunday night, I think.
Hey, Kirk Cousins, by the way, primetime games here the next couple weeks. Big-time, big game Kirk coming to you. We're going to learn a lot about old Kirk Cousins if he's been able to shake it off, shake it off, those big game jitters that he gets. What is that about, you think? Just big moments, kind of gets scared, gets a little tighter, doesn't let it loose as much, or then he's starting to second-guess himself, over-analysis, analysis paralysis, that whole thing, is that what happens to Kirk Cousins? Maybe he's too smart for his own good. We'll find out on primetime television against the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be back on the other side. No clue why you're listening. This is the Pam
vacation, 2 hours of magic, let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Chase Rice, for that incredible introduction that you gave to us for free. He's on tour right now. You can make it up to him by going and seeing him at a show near you. What is his big one? What's his ready, set, let's roll,
yep.
ready, set, let's
Banger.
ride. Banger. Then he's got another couple that are just
Lions.
oh yeah.
It's like a locker room song.
I bet you his show is a good show because he has a diverse portfolio of genres.
I think he makes sure people have a good time too. I've seen him hammering Jack on stage and stuff like that. I think
Got a
he
nice
goes for
ballad
it.
or two as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he comes to your town, go check him out. He's very attractive too, so that will help you out. I would assume that ladies flock to those shows in numbers, have a good time there. At Nick Moraldo's here. How's it going, Nick?
Great, man. Love this Florida weather. It's beautiful.
It's a little bit too thick.
Muggy.
think?
It's a little bit too thick.
You run hot, though.
I do run. I walked outside. I almost died. I mean, it is thick out there. It's still summer in Tampa Bay, which I guess is kind of the thing about Florida. You know,
True.
Tampa Bay, by the way, we learned in the first hour of the show, we're about a block away from the Gulf of Mexico, right down there. Zito, quick question: salt in the Gulf of Mexico or no salt in the Gulf of Mexico?
It matters what side we're on.
That makes a lot of sense. That's Zito right there. He's a graduate from Illinois State. Roll Birds.
Wow.
Wow. At
Wow.
Evan Foxy also here.
Hello.
Michigan State was the number 1 ranked basketball team coming into this season. Evan Foxy is the best export out of Michigan State. And last night, in the number 1 ranking at the top of the mountain, everybody looking at them, a target on their back, just absolutely botched night 1 and lose, probably falling out of the top 10.
Yeah, they'll probably fall out of the top 10. I'll tell you what, though, college basketball is getting tough to watch. It's a flawed game. It's not the game of basketball itself. I think it's the rules.
What do you mean?
The refs call way too many fouls because, the hand check stuff is so, different from the NBA. So there's a lot of stoppages at play. I think the Kansas team had 18 turnovers in the first half, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
I've always been an NBA guy. No, that's a lie. I was not an NBA guy, and I was not a basketball guy. And then when I got into basketball, I was an NBA guy because the Lakers were on late at night. So I got a chance to watch Kobe and Shaq, and it was really awesome to watch. And then I kind of drifted away, and then he moved to Indiana, and the Pacers were very good when I first got here. That was whenever they were running it against the Heat. That was whenever it was very good. And I'd watch these NBA guys, and then I would watch college basketball, and I didn't understand why people enjoy college basketball so much. I'm like, I guess if you enjoy watching people just absolutely miss mid-range jumpers on a regular basis, I can see what you do. But it is competitive, and the kids try very hard. And it's not just about them. It's about their university and their family and their coaches. And it's not about the big paychecks. It's about the actual education. And that's the difference between college basketball and NBA basketball. They play defense in the first quarter. That's what everybody tells me.
Yeah, well said.
Like, well, the NBA, they don't play defense in the first quarter. I'm like, wait, didn't LeBron just swat the hell out of somebody in the first quarter, 2 minutes into the game? Like, well, they're not trying as hard as the college kids. Well, maybe because they're playing 90 games. Have you thought about maybe they just take a playoff every once in a while? Or how about this? The guy that they're guarding, he's probably going to make that shot. So instead of giving a full effort, just let him go ahead and make it, save a little energy for down the court. In college, you can leave a guy wide open, he's not going to make it. You put a hand in his face, he's definitely not going to make it. It's a completely different game.
Yeah, I grew up in East Lansing, so I grew up in that college basketball stigma, but I've completely transformed. NBA is so much better to watch.
Wow, some would say that you're a
Stooge and a sellout.
And that's Ty Schmidt that just said that. Ty from Waterloo, Iowa. Ty, what are your thoughts on today?
I'll tell you what, pretty good so far. We have quite a bit of a hiss in our right ear, but outside of that, I mean, tech's working. Everything's great. It is very muggy down here, though.
I thought it was a snake in the studio the whole time.
I told Zito he has to take at least 5 shots a game, 5 shots a show. That was one of them. He'll regret that one. But it does sound like a rattlesnake is in our right ear the entire time. But this is what's going to happen whenever you're coming through a box truck. I, in the first hour, broke down the college football playoff system because the college football playoff staff committee, whatever the hell they are, put out their top 4 for the first time all year, and the world is abuzz. Clemson is not in the top 4. Penn State is in the top 4. Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, all in the top 4. If the season was to end right now, which it is nowhere near ending, nowhere near it. Who knows what's going to happen with college football? I'm about to fall. Those 4 would be in the playoff right now, which I think would make for an entertaining playoff. I think Penn State's obviously the worst, but that's why they're ranked 4th out of those 4 teams. But the fact that Clemson isn't in there as the reigning national champion, they had a couple hiccups early. They played UNC tight. That's going to happen. But the fact that they're not in there is strictly so that we can have this conversation about why Clemson isn't in there. You got to respect the business mind of the College Football Playoff Committee. You got to respect the fact that they want us to sell Clemson a little bit, which is what everybody's doing. Clemson no longer the target. They're the hunter. That is a very different mindset coming off of a national championship run. Trevor Lawrence had an incredible year last year, took the world by storm, came in with his beautiful flowing locks, his incredible physical build, and his ability to break down defenses is that of an NFL quarterback. They go on, win the national championship in ass-stomping fashion against Alabama, dominate, and then you got to survive an entire offseason of everybody telling you how awesome you are. I don't care how old you are. If you got to deal, and especially when you're 18, 19 years old, if you got to deal with 4 or 5 months of everybody telling you how good you are and how they wish that they could change the NFL rules so you could go be the number 1 pick after your first season of college football, that can get to you a little bit. That can settle you in a little bit. Trevor Lawrence didn't come in as hot as he was last year, but I think he has found it now, and that means that Clemson team is going to be very difficult to stop. But they aren't in the top 4, and it doesn't matter because that top 4 is going to change whenever they cannibalize each other in there by themselves. Alabama, LSU is going to play just this weekend. Then you got Penn State, Minnesota playing, and they just extended PJ Fleck in Sky U Ma, row the boat, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Look for them to show up. Look for them to play Penn State hard. That'd be hilarious if Penn State cracks the top 4, and then all of a sudden a week later they lose the Minnesota Gophers.
Oh, that's tough.
Take a hike. Take a hike. Ohio State, I think this is everybody's undoubtedly favorite team. They have the best player on offense on their team in Justin Fields, and they have the best player on defense on their team in Chase Young. That is quite a recipe for success. A lot of people talk about Urban Meyer, how good of a coach he is. He leaves, and his team gets better. Something to think about. Something to think about. USC just got a brand new athletic director, Mr. Bone. We know the Bone, by the way. The Cincinnati athletic director was hired or is in talks of being the next athletic director at USC. The Bone and I played catch at training camp this year. The Bone and I chit-chatted about life this year. The Bone and I would say, pretty relatable individuals. You would assume most athletic directors are tough to handle. Standoffish, snobby, too smart, they don't get it. Bone gets it. This guy's one of us. This is a guy you'd want to have a beer with. This is a guy that brought in Coach Fickell into Cincinnati and turned that program around. This is a guy who really understands that the environment and culture are massive to the success of your program. This is a guy who just got hired by USC, but is having second thoughts because USC told him he can't hire Urban Meyer. So now the Bone is like, wait a minute, I'm not allowed to hire my own coach? Who's the athletic director here, me or you? And the Bone says, well, I guess it's not me. So the Bone, I guess, is having second thoughts. This is all just hearsay on the internet. It's what we've been told. But why, if you're USC, you wouldn't want him to hire Urban Meyer? Here's a reason why. Remember what happened after Pete Carroll? What happened to USC after Pete Carroll? Reggie Bush got his things taken from him. Pete Carroll was running a little bit of crooked operation down there, stretching the rules by all accounts, and then he bails to go to Seattle before he could have to deal with any of the penalties that come from the NCAA. The USC does not want to get penalized by the NCAA again. The USC wants their head football coach to be completely straight, completely abide by the rules because they can't take being penalized again. That means USC must think that Urban Meyer can't be successful without cheating. Wow, USC, massive shot at Urban Meyer. just piece that together.
I also don't know if you can trust him to stick around for more than like 3 years or so. Like, do they want just like a stopgap guy where they have a bunch of success and then they have to get someone else? Like, what says that he won't go there for 3 years and then just be like, I'll just go back to ESPN until Notre Dame opens up?
Well, but Urban Meyer has won everywhere he's been.
True.
Utah, Florida, Ohio State.
Handily, by the way. One handily.
Quickly. He
Yes.
comes in there and turns it around. Now, granted, had a murderer on his team down there in Florida.
Sure.
Had some other interesting characters on that team down in Florida. Still won. Was able to rally. He was able to get Tim Tebow, Jesus' second coming, some would say,
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron Hernandez, multi-murderer, on the same page to fight for the same thing. That's the type of coach that Urban Meyer is.
Astonishing.
That is astonishing. That doesn't get talked about much, and it literally just popped in my head right now. It's crazy to think that he was able to do that, but that's what Urban Meyer does. But he does that until, I think I'm done here.
My chest hurts.
My heart is about to stop. I can't coach anymore. It's too intense. I'm going to get out of here. Retire year. Now he's in the biggest job in the country, basically at Ohio State. How does his heart just get better like that? I'd like to know. I think plenty of other people would like to know how pressure situations can once kill you and then less than a year later completely okay with it. His heart is magical. So he gets Ohio State, does well. I think I'm done here. Let's see what happens. He's a G, by the way. He gets out of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Just retires. I'm out. See you later. Done with it. Until Notre Dame job over there now? I think I can retire now. Hey, probably has like a little assistant. He's at the Ohio State Buckeye place. They're winning games. He's eating that Papa John's pizza on that golf cart with his head down. The guy driving the cart. He's like, what's the rumor mill? It's like his agent. Like, Brian Kelly's got like 1 or 2 years left. He's like, is that so? So I should retire now then so it doesn't look like we set it up? Yeah. All right, I'm out of here tomorrow. I retire. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. I'm going to go on Fox, big noon show, try to break down every single play. He does well, by the way. I feel like I learn a lot from him when I see the internet clips. That show can't touch game day, but I watch the clips every once in a while to try to learn a little bit from Urban Meyer. And then whammy, the Notre Dame job opens up and he takes it. Or whammy, the USC job opens up and he takes it. I think it's such an interesting career that Urban Meyer has had. He'll be known as the guy that just wins all the time. But it should also be noted that he leaves a place and they're still winning. Yeah. Yes, Florida went straight in the tank after he left. Yes, Utah did as well. But Ohio State has gotten better with him being gone. Granted, these are his recruits. These are his players. But he doesn't have to be there for them to be successful. Shout out to Justin Fields and Chase Young. The #1 rated Ohio State Buckeyes look like they are in the driver's seat for the rest of the year. And I can't wait to see them run into the buzzsaw that is LSU or Alabama or Clemson or Minnesota, or Baylor, or Penn State. The fact that I just keep saying Minnesota over Penn State, by the way, is a hilarious thing.
You've been known to will some things into existence before.
Well, we got P.J. Fleck a 7-year extension. Happy for him.
Yep.
Congrats to him. He wouldn't have went to Florida State, I don't think, by the way. That Florida State job is not one that I don't think a lot of people are going to want.
I also don't really think that meshes like with his message and stuff like that. I don't know.
The Necton mentality.
Yeah.
The Farmers Alliance down in Florida State.
Yeah, don't know if guys down there are going to be buying into that.
They have terrible facilities, too, from what I've been told.
Really?
I can't keep up facilities-wise.
That's very surprising.
Yeah, so like a lot of people aren't going to want to go coach there because facilities are a big-time sell in recruiting. It's like, look, we got this, we got this, we got this. Go here. Oh, we got a meditation room here with a waterfall that falls. It's actually real water from Fiji, so you can drink it if you want. We got this room over here. It's a hot tub, but it also is a cold tub if you flick this button here, so you can contrast and get healthy. Oh, and then here is our massage therapist area. We got 75 of them on staff at all times. Like, that happens at some of these schools. When you have bad facilities, you're immediately behind the 8 ball, and I think Florida State has pretty bad facilities, from what I've been told from people that know stuff. I've never been down there. It's just what I heard.
Also, if P.J. Fleck, I mean, the Big Ten West is a pretty good place to be if you're going to build a successful program. I mean, you got like Wisconsin, and that's pretty much it. Iowa every once in a while, but he has the opportunity to play for a lot of Big Ten championships.
And, by the way, the Big Ten has a lot of respect of the College Football Playoff Committee, 2 in the top 4 right now.
Right.
So, unlike the Pac-12, unlike the other conferences, the Big 12,
the ACC,
SEC, and Big Ten have a lot of representation in that College Football Playoff Committee. They got a lot of respect in there. We'll see what happens. I like P.J. Fleck in Minnesota, but I like the fact that they just locked him down for 7 more years. P.J. Fleck probably just signed for $20 million yesterday, probably.
Yep.
Good for that guy. It's that necked-on mentality, like great white shark, always hungry, never finished. We got to get to a break. It is Salute to Service Month. I don't know if you knew that. We will talk to Nate Boyer on the other side. Green Beret badass.
Yes, sir.
Badass. Doing great things with Jay Glazer out in Los Angeles. Speaking of a company that's doing great things, though, Hiring the right person takes time that you often don't have, but you shouldn't let a time crunch get in the way of finding the right candidates for your business. That's why LinkedIn is the best place to post your job. LinkedIn Job screens candidates with the hard and soft skills you're looking for so you can hire the right person fast, in a jiffy, with the quickness. What are soft skills? Ty just asked me. Those are things like collaboration, creativity, adaptability. LinkedIn looks beyond the work skills and connects you with candidates who match your business perfectly. That's how LinkedIn can make sure your job post gets in front of the people you want to hire. People with the skills, qualifications, and other insights that help LinkedIn paint a better picture of potential candidates. Listen, they're like Bob Ross whenever they're painting pictures of potential candidates. Every little detail. A little bird flying overhead.
Happy, too.
They paint the picture in a beautiful fashion so you can hire the right person. It's no wonder great candidates are hired every 8 seconds on LinkedIn. That's insane. Find the right person meant for your business today with LinkedIn Jobs. You can pay what you want, and the first $50 is on them. Just visit linkedin.com/Pat. Again, that's linkedin.com/Pat to get $50 off your first job post. Find the right person for your job. Terms and conditions obviously apply. We'll be back on the other side with an American badass, Nate Boyer. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. It is November. It is Salute to Service Month, wherever you may be. I believe you should thank American Badasses whenever you see them, because they sign a line that says, yes, I understand I may give my life, but I'm going to go and fight for the right thing. This man did just that. We had a conversation with him a couple months ago where we learned a lot. He was once basically just a bum floating around Los Angeles, then signed up for the military, became a Green Beret, did tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, came back, had never snapped a football before, played for Texas, Mac Brown. Then he ended up being on the Seattle Seahawks roster, became an NFL snapper. Now he's doing something with Jay Glazer called the MVP, merging vets and players charity. Good man, badass, handsome, actor, Green Beret, long snapper, Nate Boyer. What up, Nate?
Mostly handsome, though.
Mostly handsome. He's coming to us live from a street in Los Angeles. There's palm trees in the background.
Dude, I found the palm trees. I was like, no one's going to believe I'm in L.A. unless I have palm trees in the background, wherever they went.
Oh, you look damn good. First of all, merging vets and players MVP, what you do with Jay Glazer. I got a chance to chat with it. There might be some people who don't know about it. Can you please talk about a little bit about the incredible work you and that spark plug of a man are doing?
He's about the size of a spark plug, too. But, yeah, we're bringing together combat vets and former professional athletes and helping them find purpose, service, community, identity, just the team again once the uniform comes off, you know. There's a common thread between vets and players with that camaraderie and bond that we have in the locker room and the team room when we're shoulder to shoulder with other people fighting for something, you know, on a mission. Obviously, the stakes are different. You know, it's not life and death on the playing field, but it's important and it's fun and it's what makes us American. And you know, I'll tell you what, when we're overseas and we're deployed, there's more guys and girls watching sports and watching football, particularly on Saturdays and Sundays, whenever we can get away, and it's a great escape for us. But with both of those professions, you know, you're in your 20s, 30s if you're lucky, 40s if you're super lucky. And, you know, then the uniform comes off and that identity sort of seems to get lost and the glory fades and all that stuff. And you just feel like you'll never do anything as important as you did before. And, you know, we're trying to empower our guys and girls to remember who they are, what they're made of, what they're capable of moving forward.
It's an incredible thing what you guys are doing out there. I've gotten a chance to watch it not only from afar but within. It is very, very impressive what you guys got going on. You just mentioned that whenever you're overseas or you're on a tour, you're watching a lot of games. When the NFL does this, the salute to service, I see a lot of palm trees in the background. Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to switch hands and my arm got tired.
He's FaceTiming in. When the NFL does the salute to service, a lot of people were kind of like, oh, they're pandering. This sounds like a joke. But I assume that means a lot more than people could imagine, especially to those overseas, us giving like a tip of the cap for the month of November.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's less about the league and more about the players, you know, and them sort of paying their respects, saying thank you. And, you know, we feel like it's an extra special weekend or two where they're sort of playing for us, you know, around that holiday, I guess. And so, yeah, I mean, we love that connection. And there's always going to be some people that just want to be mad about everything. And there's people in camouflage that are the same way. And that's all good. But, no, I mean, for the most part, it's a great thing. It's really cool what they do. I mean, the league and the players in the league do a lot in the communities, not just within the veteran community. But it is nice to know that they're thinking of us and doing something a little extra special. I mean, honestly, every Sunday, you know, they do quite a bit for men and women in uniform. You know, they're always on the field. They're often singing the anthem. There's always like a hero of the game salute and all that. So it's not like that everywhere in the world. And we may be the only country that kind of goes that extra mile. So I think as veterans, you know, we got to be grateful for that, appreciate that, and know that we're lucky to be held in that regard. And yes, obviously we volunteered to do something pretty important, but just to get that sort of appreciation, I think that's why we're willing to be so brave. That's why we're willing to go overseas and sacrifice our lives, because we know people appreciate it back here, and we know if something happens or we don't make it home, our families are going to get taken care of, and we're going to be remembered. So
I fully agree with everything you just said. I've always said it doesn't.
Service month, man.
I know I don't want to be a terrible guy. Hey, you're full of it, man. That's a lie. No, I've always said it doesn't matter if you're pro-war or against the war. You have to be pro the warrior, honestly, because that's like you guys are like our team. You know what I mean? Speaking of the word warrior, whenever football people say like, "Oh, we're going to war," or "That guy's a warrior," is that offensive to the badasses of America who are actual warriors who actually go into war?
Maybe some of them. I don't know if those are badasses though. They sound kind of soft to me. I mean, it's a figure of speech. We use figures of speech all the time, and I mean that verbiage gets people fired up, you know. And if your goal is to go out there and beat the man across the line of scrimmage for you, you want to be as fired up as possible. I mean, people listen to, you know, hardcore rap and death metal that's got a lot of lyrics talking about some crazy stuff. It's not like they're going out there and doing that. But it gets you jacked up. So I personally don't have a problem with it. I get it, you know. I mean, of course, I rolled my eyes a few times in locker rooms before where you hear something, you're like, oh, my gosh, really? You just said that? But I'm not offended. I'm not offended by it, though. It's just, yeah, it's funny, if anything. You know what I mean?
What was the sketchiest situation you were in Iraq or Afghanistan where you thought, you know what, everything could come crashing down? I'm sure there was some moments like that. Were there?
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, honestly, one that really sticks out all the time to me was my last deployment. I was in Afghanistan. I was going to college and playing ball at the time, so I was deploying in the summers, and this was before my senior year. So it was like my last deployment, and I had like a week or two before training camp started. So selfishly, I'm on like the tailgate of this gun truck and laying down suppressive fire for our guys while they're moving in and out of buildings, and there was a sniper that was like trained in on me, and he was hitting the vehicle, you know, with bullets, and I couldn't tell where he was coming from, but I was on like a machine gun anyway, so I was trying to cover down on the buildings that our guys were about to head into so they didn't get, you know, messed up when they went through the door. And all I could think about selfishly was like, just if you get hit anywhere, just make sure it's like a simple, clean in an entrance and exit wound. We can get it ready. We can get it dressed up. You know, you'll be good by training camp. Just don't don't hit me in the elbow or the shoulder of my right arm, please, because that's going to be real hard to snap a football and stuff like that. It was really funny, but those were the thoughts going through my head.
Hey, you're a lunatic. You're an absolute lunatic of a man.
I mean, I didn't want to die either. I'm just saying what I was thinking of in the moment. I was like, oh, football, man. Come on, dude. That's messed up.
These types.
You know who I am?
Excuse me. This guy on the back of this machine gun, okay, sniper man. I got to snap a ball for the Texas Longhorns in a week and a half. So if you could shoot the left side of my body, that'd be very nice of you. You're an insane man.
Shoot those guys over there, man. They don't got to go back and play ball. You know? Come on.
Hey, these types of stories though are things that kind of get lost on the facts whenever people start talking against the military or down about it. Actual bullets flying in the face of a man, and he's standing there just trying to help out his brothers. I mean, that's really what the military is all about. They're willing to take something for somebody else. And I think that is a message that should be sent to everybody, is that's what America really is at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know, I had an opportunity this last weekend to do an honor flight with through the Detroit Lions, and they flew a bunch of World War II vets, Korean War vets, Vietnam vets down to DC to go, you know, visit the memorials. And a lot of these guys had never been on that trip. And it was really interesting to talk to some of these guys, especially some of the Vietnam War guys that are pretty angry about the way things were handled, the way they were treated when they came home. Also, you know, the ways that they were potentially lied to in certain situations from the government and whatnot. And they're angry guys and upset. And, they, you know, to see like the tears fall was like kind of heartbreaking, because it doesn't feel the same way. They don't feel the same way that I do about my experience overseas, understandably. But at the end of the day, they all had this consistent message about their brothers in arms. You know what I mean? The men and women on their left and right, and like how it was all for them, even if they didn't agree with what they were doing, they were willing to step up and take a bullet for the people next to them, you know, regardless of the situation and the politics. And that was just really kind of cool to hear. You know, even there was one gentleman in particular that was, I mean, he was very upset, and I just was I was talking to him, and I didn't really know. There's nothing I could really say to make him, feel better about what had happened in the past. But once he was there and sort of like got past that anger and rage, the way that he talked about his brothers in arms, the ones that didn't make it back, and even the ones that did, was just it was really cool. It was really there's a special bond there that that sort of transcends all the bureaucracy of everything.
That's a beautiful thing, and I would assume whenever your life and death is on the line, you can come together a lot closer. In an NFL locker room, I've always said, if we could take what the NFL locker room has and apply it to society, we'd be a much better off place. You got people from Compton, you got Richie kids up there, you're all coming together for one cause, one dream, one goal. You ended up being in the NFL, playing for the Seattle Seahawks, and now Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks are on quite a run. Do you keep in touch with anybody up there, and is that your team of choice?
You know what? I grew up in the Bay, so it's really awkward because I pull for basically the NFC West. I grew up in the Bay, and so I'm a Niner fan. I'm living in Los Angeles. I like to have a local team to pull for, so I'm pulling for the Rams out here. And then, obviously I have a huge affinity for the Seahawks and the guys that I played with. And, I'm sure you're the same way. A lot of it's like pulling for players, guys that you know. So, like now that if Richard Sherman was going to go anywhere, the fact that he went to the Niners was cool for me because I love Rich. He's a great guy and got to play with him for a heartbeat. But yeah, the Hawks are dangerous, man. I'm really excited for Monday Night Football actually, because that's my top two teams. I think that I don't want to say the Niners are overrated in any way. They look insane, but the Seahawks are I don't think they've played anybody like the Seahawks yet personally. So it'll be cool to see, but yeah, Russ is unreal right now. He's got the best quarterback rating in like history.
I want to let you know you were right about Russell Wilson, but you saying that the Niners never played anybody, Niners fans are going to come after you. It happened to me. This happened to me.
I'm a Niner fan.
You probably sent me tweets talking about how I don't know what I'm talking about because the Niners haven't played anybody.
Who have they though, for real?
Nobody. The answer is nobody.
They played the Panthers with a backup, and it's like, yeah, the Panthers are on a winning streak, but they haven't been beating like top teams either.
But they have the chance to now. They have a chance to on Monday Night Football. It should be great. Your ties to the Niners, not only being a fan, is another pretty massive one in the history of Americana, to be honest with you. You were there with Colin Kaepernick during the kneeling situation. You're a Green Beret, an American badass. And how that thing all got spun out into a different way had to be pretty interesting for you to experience in your life, I'd assume.
Yeah, definitely. It's still an interesting story and topic. And, especially when we get around these times, around Veterans Day or Memorial Day and 4th of July, when patriotism sort of comes back alive in the country. Not that it's dead, but it's spoken about in a different way. And that thought and that topic always comes up. But I've never said or considered anything Colin has done to be unpatriotic. We definitely have our sort of opinions and feelings about things based on our experiences, which are different. But I've always respected the guy, and I personally don't think he's intentionally trying to hurt anybody or do anything to upset a specific group. I think that what he was trying to do, the message he was trying to put forward, was a respectful one. And, what he's ultimately trying to do for people in underserved communities is just provide, more opportunities, more equality, and make sure that those that make mistakes, especially when wearing the badge, are held accountable. I think those are the main things that was all about. It definitely got spun, like you said, into this, he hates America, he hates the troops, he doesn't respect anything, and it's just, I didn't have that experience with him, and I sat down with the guy for a couple hours and talked about it and kind of stayed in touch with him. I never had that experience. So, everybody's entitled to their opinion. They can feel the way that they feel. We fought for that too, but at the end of the day, we took the oath to defend the Constitution, which includes the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech, and so that's what we fought for. We don't have to like it, but we fought for his right to do what he did.
Nate, I'll tell you what, every time I talk to you, I'm more and more impressed, not only by your incredible good looks, but also by the way you can speak. I appreciate you so much. You're doing great work with that spark plug, Jay Glazer, and the MVP. I appreciate you being an American bat. He is a spark plug, he is. Julio Jones. Nate, we appreciate you so much, man. Happy Veterans Day coming up. Thank you for your
Thank you,
service.
Pat.
You're a badass, brother.
I appreciate you, man. One last thing.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, all these holidays, man, celebrate. Have a good time. You know, don't be so hyper-focused on us being sensitive about this and that. And, you know, thank us for our service. Most of us appreciate it and know that it's genuine. So honor those that didn't make it back. But also just, you know, thank a veteran, remember a veteran, call a veteran. You know, there may be somebody out there that's not getting that thank you, and they could use it. So go out of your way to just do that on Monday. That's all I ask.
Hell yeah. We'll celebrate for you, Nate. Ladies and gentlemen, Nate
Sweet.
Boyer, Green Beret.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, Nate, so much. Incredible story, man. By the way, Nate, we had a podcast with him. You should listen to that. It's like an hour long, his entire story. Badass dude. Just imagine sitting on the back of a truck with a machine gun. Oh, my God. What if he hits me right here in my arm? I got a long snap now. Oh, my. Start shooting just with your left hand up there.
Gonna play Oklahoma in a few weeks.
That guy. He said we're very similar, you know, football players and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I don't know how many people are going out in there. Pat Tillman obviously did it. Badass
Yeah.
American. Celebrate Veterans Day, though. Thank somebody. Not just on Veterans Day, but when you get a chance. And if somebody's doing stolen valor and they're wearing camouflage or camos out, buy them a coffee. And if they feel like they beat you, to hell with them. That's one of my favorite things to do, man. Just buy somebody something if they're in their full fatigues or whatever. Who bought this for you? The big nose guy just left. I'd like to go thank him. He's gone. Veterans Day is a beautiful thing. So is our military. Say thanks if you get a chance. That's insane to think about, though. Oh, my. There's one coming back. Wait a minute.
Having no idea where it's coming
No
from.
clue.
That's insane.
You ever see those movies of those snipers, too? They are like
Underneath like a sheet.
a mile away,
Yeah.
too. It's insanity. Big thanks to Nate Boyer for serving our country and our show today. Did a great job. We'll be back on the other side, wrapping up hour 2 here of this November 6th, Wednesday, 2019. You're listening to The Pat McAfee Show. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. We are having a rave in a box truck. It is Wednesday, November 6, 2019, day after Election Day. Congrats to all who won. Congrats to all who lost. I was watching the local news. I saw the one guy that was up for mayor. He was confused on where to vote and how to vote. Happy that guy lost.
Oh, boy.
Yikes.
As soon as I saw him, I'm like, happy that guy lost. Didn't even know where to go. Didn't know how to fill out his thing. I guess it was all electronic. People were getting confused on the iPads. The olds.
My God.
The olds are getting confused. And it's just the way it goes. Happy we're moving forward, though, in technology in the world. Speaking of moving forward, our show has a sponsored segment.
Let's go.
That's right, Zito. Let's go to you for a brand new sponsored segment by our friends at Manscaped called Zito Facts. Zito, all yours, bub.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce you. Support for the Pat McAfee Show come from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Nailed it.
I'm going to go over some talking points over here. I can't read the first one, so I'm going to go to the second one. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their lawnmower 2.0 has, proprietary.
Yeah.
Hey! Skin-safe technology so the trimmer won't nick or snag on your
Nuts.
Yes. I don't know if I could say that word.
It's in the read. Just say it.
Okay. Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. I'm going to call some action right now.
Call. Please call to some action.
Yes, sir. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AMERICA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code AMERICA.
Attaboy, Zeke. Good read.
Thanks, Zeke.
Attaboy, Zeke. Good read, Zeke.
Whoa.
He even said proprietary in there. That's
Nailed it.
pretty impressive. Now, let's get to the thing that they paid for, the segment that is called Zito Facts. These are facts that have come into Zito's brain that wants to enter your brain.
Yes, sir. So the first one today we have on the screen right now. The con in con artist is short for confidence.
Learned that today.
Who knew?
Zito and I were very mind blown whenever Nick dropped this on us earlier today. Nice little fun fact there. Do we have any others?
Yes, sir. The one we had earlier today. Did you know slugs have 4 noses?
I did not know that slugs had 4 noses. That is a wild thing to think about. How many noses do you need is the question to ask a slug if you see it. 4 noses. They've been smelling a lot of ish. Good for slugs. Good for a Zito fact. And the last fact that we have not heard yet today is...
Yes, sir. A honeybee could fly at 15 miles per hour. Who knew?
Wow.
That's pretty fast.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Zito Facts brought to you today by Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Use promo code AMERICA and get 20% off and free shipping. A lawnmower 2.0 that won't nick or snag your nuts.
Yes, sir. I didn't even talk about the crop preserver either.
We can use that next time. The crop preserver is something that's like deodorant for your balls.
Anti-chafing.
That's right. It is anti-chafing.
Chafing.
Chafing.
English language is difficult for Zito.
I feel like I did a pretty good job in that reading.
Well, I mean, it got sponsored, so you got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they'll ever let you read it again. We had a
probably
podcast issue where a couple companies told us that if that illiterate guy
Whoa!
reads our podcast ad reads again, we will drop from the company. So let's assume that won't happen with Manscaped because they're good people. That lawnmower 2.0 that they're talking about right there, though, they have actual technology that you can't nick your balls while manscaping. It's next level. Honestly, I got it. I thought they were lying. I had no idea. I went willy-nilly on my willy-nilly. I ended up shaving everything below my waist. I just want nuts. I just want nuts with it.
It's going to happen. Can't even it out. You
I
just
see what
got
you did there.
to lose it all.
What have we talked about today that needs to be refocused on?
Well, you fixed the college football playoff rankings.
8 teams. The 5 conference champions should get in, then 3 at-large bids. Keep the college football playoff committee to pick the 3 at-large bids. They like to say that every game matters. That is not an accurate statement. The accurate statement is every game matters until you lose your first one. I think if we make the playoff system an 8-team system, it's a lot better for everybody. More money, more games, more accuracy on who the best team in football is. Yes, the SEC is a dominant force. Yes, the Big Ten is also dominant. Let their champions get in, then if 2 other at-large bids are taken by those conferences, so be it. We love the 4-team playoff more than we like the BCS. The BCS was just an opportunity for the NCAA to cash in and not decide a champion. The BCS did that for them. You go to the NCAA Hall Hall of Fame. They literally have the Division I AA champion because they sold their rights to name a champion to the BCS. Everybody hated it. It was stupid. Now they go to the playoff. It's a little bit better. We're taking a step in the right direction, but let's make it actually better with an 8-team playoff, and let's make college football really what it is, which is every game matters. You can be the Pac-12, win your championship, not get in. What do? You go to the Rose Bowl? Nobody cares about the Rose Bowl anymore. Yes, the Rose Bowl is awesome. Winning the Rose Bowl is something you'd love to put on your resume, but in the grand scheme of things, if it ain't a playoff game, it ain't matter. And that's rough for them. I'm happy we can fix the college football playoff. We're not the first people to say it, but we're saying it the loudest today. So if you want to quote us, quote us. If you want to crown us, crown us. But we think you should crown the champion through an 8-team playoff.
You talked about Dean Spanos telling everyone to go fornicate themselves on the London rumors.
Dean Spanos said that Los Angeles is this team's fornicating home for a long time. He said he ain't going nowhere. They actually tweeted the Wolf of Wall Street gif whenever he was standing up in front. I ain't leaving. They literally left San Diego just 2 years ago. I don't know if the Wolf of Wall Street did that. He moved out of the garage, I guess, and got up into that big house. So you got to do what you got to do. I like Spanos showing a little bit of fire, though. I like the Chargers tweeting the Wolf of Wall Street gif, adding a little flavor to their Twitter account. But I think anybody who's ever watched that movie would argue that he should have just left. He should have just left. Instead, he ended up on a yacht in a storm, and then he ends up in jail. It all turns downhill. If he just leaves then, he's rich, he scammed everybody, and he won the game. Kind of what people were thinking in San Diego, what Spanos did. He's rich, he scammed people, and he won the game. You take them to London town, I think it'll be a logistical nightmare, but to say you won't leave when you just left is a hilariously hypocritical statement. Why not take them over to San Antonio? Huh? If they're going to move, why don't we move them into a city that needs a football team? Maybe make them the Canadian Chargers. Put a little snow on that lightning bolt. Put them in Toronto, have all of Canada get behind them. We talked about this yesterday. I think the games in Europe will maintain. I think they'll continue to have those, but I don't think it makes sense to have a team over there. And if we're going to move to a 17-game schedule anyways, one neutral site game per team, you could probably have more games in Europe. Let them experience every single NFL team as opposed to being forced to just enjoy one NFL team. I think that's smart for the NFL. The NFL has a lot of big brains. Shad Khan sat down with Rich Eisen for the show The Grind on Epix, which debuts this evening. Rich Eisen said on his show yesterday, Shad Khan said the Jaguars will not be moving to London, and he doesn't believe any team will be moving to London. I do like the expansion into Europe with more games, so we get a chance to showcase the best game on planet Earth, the best league on planet Earth, to an entire continent, but I don't think it makes sense to have a team over there.
You know what else wouldn't hurt? Maybe some better quality games over there. They seem to send... usually the bottom feeder teams over there.
I played over there.
Come on, Nick.
Houston Texans, number 8 team in the NFL right now, just played over there.
What's going on?
It's getting better, but you still don't see like the Patriots. Traditionally, the Steelers. Steelers have been over there once, I think. Some of the big name franchise. Well, how many times have the Packers gone?
They haven't, and they will never. They said they are never going to give up a home game. So unless it's a away game, they will not be playing in London.
Well, we didn't give up a home game either. It was the Jacksonville Jaguar home game that we played over there. And with the 17-game season that's going to happen, every team will have a neutral site. Let's assume the Packers are going to be over there.
There you go.
Let's assume that the Steelers are going to be over there. Let's assume that the Patriots are going to be over there. That's going to happen. It's just the way it goes.
Not on my watch.
He's an owner. Ty Schmidt is an owner of the team, so whenever they sit down and talk about it, I'm sure he'll have a word or two about it. I would be excited to watch Belichick handle that situation, by the way, because he'll outsmart everybody with the way they do it. There's a thought. Do you go a week early? Do you go the day before? Do you try to act like you're still on East Coast time zone, or do you try to adjust to the time zone? There's all of these questions. There's all of these stats and analytics and nutritionists and scientists and all this blah, blah, blah. I'd be excited to see what the Patriots do, because whatever they do, every other team will be like, all right, what did the Patriots do? We'll just do what they did. That'll help us out.
What time was your kickoff over there? Was it like a 7 p.m. game?
No, it was in the morning.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I think it was in the morning. No, it was in the afternoon.
Or like a 3 p.m.
Yeah, I think
type
it was.
deal?
I think it was like 3 p.m. I don't remember. I took like 13 edibles on the flight home from that thing. I almost ended up staying in England. I was almost
GM of the new team.
I like the NFL UK brand, though. They got a loyal fan base over there, an active fan base. They like our game. Not only is it Patriots over there that are serving the military or whatever, but a lot of Europeans have fallen in love with the game, too. Good for the NFL to grow into Europe. Good for the NFL to grow across the world. But I just don't think they'll have a team there.
And finally, we talked about your new announcement, another job for you. You will be commentating as a field analyst in the XFL.
I'm just trying to get it out of there. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up, head spin. Get it, rah. I got 10 jobs. I don't get tired. I am tired. I am. This fall has been quite a run. I'm enjoying every single second of it, from the Daily Show to calling Thursday Night Football to doing WWE last week to getting a chance to do College Game Day a couple weeks in a row to this weekend being at the Logan Paul KSI fight in Los Angeles. I mean, we're running here. We're running down a dream. And once this season ends, I'm going to have an opportunity to call some XFL games in a brand new position called a field analyst. The XFL is going to give me unprecedented access, they say. I'm going to be allowed to be in huddles. I'm going to be allowed in celebrations. I'm going to be allowed to chirp the refs. What the hell was that? The XFL is going to be a good time, and I'm very thankful and honored to be a part of it. That starts a week after the Super Bowl on ESPN. I have not met my team that I'll be calling games with, but if they're anything like Adam, Matt, and Molly, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. I don't know if I'll be there every week, but at least the first week I will be, and some going forward. That field analyst position hopefully will be able to change the way games are covered. Hopefully I'll get my cleats on out there. I'll be running down some players in the huddle. Let's start a deep ball because ratings are dropping. Should be a lot of fun. From myself, Nick, Zito, and his facts, Evan Foxy and his terrible Michigan State basketball team, Ty Schmidt and all his thoughts about the Packers. We can't thank you enough for listening or watching wherever you may be. It's been a beautiful Wednesday, November 6, 2019 from a box truck in Tampa Bay, Florida. There's really no reason you should listen or watch the show, but you do, and we thank you for it. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been the Pat McAfee Show.